Welcome, everyone. So we're getting ready. First off, we'd like to say something about Parashat Shavua. That's very, very important and a vital lesson. Now, this time when we speak about the Parashat Shavua, speaking about, of course, we know Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking to the people. Everything. This is like the day he's passing away. And what does he speak about? He tells them, and I'm going to read it to you. He tells them, swear to me, promise, make sure you don't do Avodah Zarah. Now, 1 second. Let's just reverse for a second. Let's contemplate and let's see who is Moshe Rabbeinu talking to. He's talking to the Dor De'ah. You know what the Dor De'ah is? The Dor De'ah was the door of the Midbar, where they saw things where the Ramban himself, the Ramban says, this generation that was in the Midbar, they were so holy, even the ladies, they could have had Nivu'ah like Yehezkel. You understand what's going on? That means they were such on a high level. And you say to yourself, for sure, think about it. What did they eat for 40 years? They ate man. They're not eating what we're eating. They're eating man. Hamotzi lechem min hashamayim. Hamotzi man min hashamayim. You know, it's something that it's food that is godly. That you didn't have to go to the bathroom after. Why? Because anything that you needed was all nutrients that was automatically, it went to all the places where you needed it right away. There was no waste. That's how holy they were. You hear what's going on over here? This is the Dor De'ah, the Dor HaMidbar, the holiest generation that we've ever had, if you think about it. And a wild thing. You have to understand something. When they were in the Midbar, they didn't have to change clothing. That means it grew on them. That every year, you go change a suit. Remember you were younger, you hit 10, you hit 12, you hit 15, you hit 18, and you always changing suits. Yeah? Imagine the same suit grew on you. And it was like a dry clean. Hashem had the Anei Kavod, the clouds of glory, and it dry cleaned your suit. You didn't have to pay for dry clean. What happened? Automatically, you're wearing a suit, you're wearing a tie, boom, boom, boom. It would be clean for you automatically. We're talking about this type of a generation. We're talking about a generation where HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the Anei HaKavod, the clouds of glory, protecting them wherever they went. That means if there was a bow and arrow just shot at them, it would be evaporated in one of the clouds of the glory. Just go. Nobody could beat them. When they were walking in the midbar. You're walking on who knows what, snakes, scorpions, who knows? And yet, guess what? They got a clean pathway because HaKadosh Baruch Hu also sent the cloud to make sure that the whole dirt was clean. So you're seeing all that. The question is asked. This is the generation that you're telling them don't do Avodah Zarah? I think they will never come to do such a thing. Now to this, I'm going to give you the answer. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu warning them for this specific sin? Out of all the sins, why this specific Avodah Zarah? You listen to me now. Now listen to me carefully. To answer this, I'm going to quote you a pasuk in Mishleh. You ready? What would you say is a very scary animal? So it says, Pagosh dov shakul beish ve'al kesil be'ivalto. Meaning, what's worse? What's the fiercest? Imagine right now, there's a big bear, and there's cubs. You know the baby, she gives birth, and now there's baby bears. This baby little Abus, little bear. And he said to himself, oh wow, I love him as a pet, And you grab one of them. What do you think the mother's going to do to you? Attack. Right? Attack. But furiously, crazy. So, Shlomo Melech is saying, what's worse? Being in the company of a bear or being in the company of a fool, bivalto. He says worse is worse by being a fool, and he explains why. I'll explain why. And the Mefarshim explain influence is very easy. The way you get influenced is very easy. And I always say to teenagers, because I know it clear, it's always the age of like 14, 15, 16, 17, that age, or like 15 to 17, where the first person comes over to you and says, you want to have a smoke? You want to have a smoke? I remember the first time somebody came over to my friends. They're like, oh, come, guy, come. You offered whoa. It's the peer pressure and the influence. Where a person gets influenced so easily, and the person says, oh, let's just chill, let's do this, let's do that. And you don't even realize how influenced you become so fast. And before you know it, you're smoking like you're a chain smoker. And you can't stop. And you're smoking, and now you're smoking a pack a day. And what's going on? Or whatever it is. Now they have the new item. What's those things called? What is it called? The vape? They call the vape? Miley, vape, E-Lig, I don't know, there's so many names, I don't know. I'm so confused myself. I'm serious. Every time there's every few months there's another item, this, that, But at the end of the day, how does it work? What's the influence? You're with people and everybody's holding that thing, and so you say, okay, let me try. And then before you know it, you get addicted. And you don't realize, but the whole day, you think like the whole day or like this, whatever it is. It used to be like this, I used to be like this. I don't even know the motions anymore. Like this. The hands don't know, It's like a whole different situation. That's what it became. Because a person gets influenced by his surroundings very easily. It's not a joke, by the way, very easily. I had friends myself. I remember friends growing up myself. And such good kids. I said to myself, such good kids. And unfortunately, where are they today? Gone. How? Influence. They see a person, they start with this, and they start with that, and before you know it, it leads to so much more than what it really is. You hear what's going on over here? And how? Like Shlomo HaMelech is telling you, it's influence. If you hang out with foolish people, it's worse than hanging out by a bear and grabbing its cubs. Shlomo HaMelech, that's what it says. Hey, read it. You want to read it again? It's not a jar. Read it again. You want me to read it again for you? Hey, he wants me to read it again. You can look it up yourself, Mishleh. Right? Perek Yud Zayin. Look it up yourself. Perek Yud Zayin. Pasuk Yud Bet. Pagosh Dov. You know what a dove is, right? Like a dib. Like a dove. Like a dib. Pagosh Dov. Shakur Be'ish, right? Ve'al Kesil Bevato. And don't hang out. Better to go and meet the bear. And you'll see Perush HaGra says, grab the kids, than to meet a fool, an idiot. Because guess what? The influence is great. How do you think, somebody, I went into the store once, a while back, and he says, my son is an alcoholic. I said, how did it start? He said, very simple. I said, he came one time, he had a little shot of something, he coughed it all up, and then he had a little bit more, he threw up, and he had a little bit more, and before you know it, he developed it, and before you know it, now he can't do without it. But how did it start? With a few friends, they thought they were cool, they thought this, they thought that, they thought this, let's have a shot, let's have a this, let's have a that, let's have a that. That's what I'm saying. Influence, good and bad. Usually the influence for the bad is easier than the good. It's not so easy to be good, right? I'll give you an example. There was once a person on the bus. Listen to the story. I heard this many years ago. There was a person on a bus, and he was opening up the Gemara. And the other guy was opening up like a magazine, right? And you see the person with the Gemara, like he's going like this, not to see the magazine, but the guy that's opening up the magazine, he's not looking at the Gemara. He's not going like this, not to look at the Gemara, but he's not looking at the Gemara. So when he asked this rabbi, I don't understand. I'm on the bus, I'm learning my Gemara, and I'm always covering myself not to look at the shtuyot. But I don't see him Covering himself like the Gemara. He says that you have to understand, to fall into wickedness, there's a special, like a sprinkle, a sparkle. You know? And when you get there, it's all demyon, it's all imagination. It's nothing. You understand? In the beginning, the Yetzer Hara paints something so, wow, if I get this, I'm going to be so happy. Finally, you get the item. Ah, come on. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Huh? It happened to you?
Oh, every day.
Every day, right? You heard that? He's an eyewitness right there. Everybody's an eyewitness right there. What do you mean? Can you give an example? Say it real quick.
I don't know. I'd say with...
Shlomi.
I live with technology.
Huh? Oh, technology, yeah. No, so I'll tell you, it's very simple. It's very simple, by the way. I'll tell you the way it works. I'm telling you the way it works. You always think, oh, if I do this, I'll be so happy. Yeah, and you paint an image. Oh, I'll go on the best vacation, and you come back from the vacation, you're like, I need a vacation from the vacation. It wasn't a vacation. Yeah. Event or not event? The guy, you see the guy, I tell the guy, where are you coming from? He said, I just had a few day vacation. I said, so what are you doing with your phone? He said, I'm booking my next one. I said, why? Because I need a vacation from this vacation. I was like, when are you playing? 3 months from now, I can't. I didn't really enjoy myself, this, that. They said this hotel. I go in, they have stains on the floor. I thought the craziest, the this, the that. And you're so excited, going to this hotel and this. And then you go in, they gave you the bad room, bad view, bad this, bad that. The half the day is gone, you call in the front desk, I can't get in touch. You call up, I'll call you back, you never call me back. You go to the front desk, you have to wait, sir, the manager will come. By the time understand what I'm saying? You hear what's going on over here? Because the Yetzer Hara always plants an image that you think you'll always be happy if you get there, that, this. But you're happy, be content with what you have at that moment where you are now. Be content and happy with what you have now. I know a person, it happened yesterday. Yesterday this happened. I go to him and I'm speaking to him, I know him very well. And he's up there. He's up there in years. Maybe 40s, up there, 70, not married. Not married meaning to say, what happened? He got DV'd. He had all the... He tells me what he's going through. I know he told me. And he has wealth. He has a nice house. He has a nice car, everything. So I asked him last night. I said, what would you do? A or B? This is what I asked him. And by the way, this is what I asked him. I said, A or B? I said, what's the choice? He says, right now, I was visiting his house. I said, I see you have in a house and always a nice car and this, that. I said, let's say if I tell you, I'll get you married. I'm just giving him a scenario. I want to hear what he had to say. I'll get you married. Yeah, I have a great family. But let's say this person, because I know of a fellow that's going through. I know this person. He's telling me that there's a leak in his house. He can't afford to change the roof, which is 10 grand. He can't afford it, and it's leaking, and his whole house is dilapidated, and this, that. I said, what would you choose? This person's ba'aya of a whole dilapidated house, and even it leaks on his wife. It leaks on his wife. It's like the craziest thing. The kids are running around and leak, and he can't afford. He can't afford to fix the roof, but he has a wife and a family. Or your position, wealth, nice house, nice car. He told me this. He said he'd switch any day. People always think, I'll always be happy if I have this, and always be happy if I have that. Be happy where you are. Be happy where you are. Be happy where you are now. Whatever age you're in as well. Be happy your age that you're in. Be happy with it. Be happy. Wow, one time I went to a barber, and he's going like this when he's taking the cut. The guy, how he sweeps everything after, So the guy's like, yo, you're getting old, he tells the guy. I'm like, I'm sitting down. He's like, oh, you're getting old. So what do you mean I'm getting old? I say, look at all this gray hair. Look at all this gray hair. You're getting old, man. You're getting old. All this gray hair. What are you, 65, 70? All this craziness. So he tells him, yeah, I'm about 70 years old. He says, but when I see this gray hair after I go to the barber, I'm very happy. I said, why? You're getting old. He says, Baruch Hashem, that I reached this age of to be 70 to see my gray hair. You hear the outlook of it? You hear what's going on over here? Be happy where you're at. Be happy where you're at. You understand? There's so much good and blessing in your life. You just have to see it. The problem is, you always thought, if I get this, and if I get that, and if I do this, and if I do that. Enough. Be happy with where you are right now. Yes, Bezrat Hashem, you'll get whatever you want. But with the bracha that God gave you now, be happy. Be happy. Be happy. You know, Baruch Hashem, I have a lot of girls, right? Baruch Hashem, I have a lot of girls. And no boys yet. Bezrat Hashem soon. Anyway, so a rabbi came to my house, and he sees I have all the girls. He says, "Are you happy?" I said, "I'm happy." He says, "You should be very happy." I said, "Why?" He tells me his daughter, older now, it's older girl, and he says that she wishes, even if she got 10 girls, she'll take all 15 girls. I said, "What do you mean? What happened?" She says she was only able to have 2 girls, but she'll have so many. So I said, "Rabbi, why are you telling that?" He says, because you might think, because you don't have a baby boy yet, yeah, I'm not happy because I don't have girls. I need the baby boy, carry the name, Palacci, this, that. No, be happy that you have all girls. At least you have, look how many girls you have. Look how many girls you have. You hear what's going on? Look at what you have and follow it and be blessed with it. Really be blessed with it because it's a beracha. Whatever you have in your life is a beracha. You have to just stop looking. You get what we're saying it tonight? You get what we're saying tonight? So 2 things. I don't know how we got off to this topic, by the way. I don't. How did we veer off there? Influence. Oh yeah, influence. Yeah, man, huh? That's good. He's saying influence. How do you get into it? Because influence, meaning to say, when it comes to influence in the bad, it's very easy. Because bad, when you're going bad, what are you doing? You're going down the slope. So it's very easy to go down. What's harder? When you're doing good, you're going up. So it's always it's always harder. You get that? So therefore, bad, you always be careful with that. And that's exactly why, if you look further on, there's a reason why. Show me, if you don't mind, we'll do that at the end, please. Before we refocus everybody with this, gaze. No, don't gaze around. Like this. If you look and you focus, right? We didn't say it last time. Nobody knows except the boys over here. And I didn't embarrass you? No. Yes? No? It's a thing. Should I give a shout out to Shlomi? He sets up everything over here. Baruch Hashem. All right. Anyway, so let's go on a little bit more. Let's go on. So it says over here, the reason he spoke about, now back to the answer. But before this answer, it says, everybody knows what a sotah is over here? You know what a sotah is? Sotah is a lady. Listen, Albert. Sotah is a lady that what? The husband gave him a warning, gave her a warning. I don't want you going alone with this man in a room with this man. All of a sudden, the halakha says, if she did, she has to drink something called mei sotah water. She drinks these waters, and now if she's guilty, she blows up. And you know what it says? It says that people could see her blowing up. Meaning to say, if you want to go to the Bet HaMikdash, and they have, let's say, oh, by the way, there's action going on, there's a sotah going in, it's about to blow up. I know you'd be like the first, hey, bro, what's going on? Yeah, she might blow up, crazy. And he's sitting there, and you're like, sitting there, I know, you're like with your coke, and let's see this, that's the action. All of a sudden, right, it says, if you see a sotah blown up, Nazir. Why make yourself Nazir? Anybody know? You see the sotah, you got box seats, and then you got box seats, you see it, poof, lady blew up. What happens? Get by. You make yourself a Nazir. Don't drink any wine, at least for the next 30 days. Why? Anybody can give me an answer? Why? Why? You know what the answer is? Influence. What's the influence? What's the influence? The influence is that that what caused this lady to do what she did? If she's in her right mind, she's not going to do what she did. How does it cause it? She drinks a little bit too much. You drink too much alcohol, wine, too much wine, and then the head spins. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. You understand? And therefore, this man saw that. You saw something that messed it up. It can affect you. Because what you see can affect you. Oh, she blew up because she drank too much wine. I don't even want to get close to wine. If that's being said, separate yourself for the next 30 days. So therefore you don't get influenced by that. Because what you see can influence you very easily. And that's why, I'll never forget, I had a friend, and he was teaching his teenage son. He had a teenage son. He was about 13, 14. And he was always against this. My friend of mine was always saying, smartphone. He doesn't want his son even coming close. He knows the danger if you don't have a filter on the phone. You know, he knows the danger of it. So one time, somebody came to his house and he left his phone on the dining room table. They're eating dinner. He left the dining room table. And he sees his son eyeing this iPhone. He sees it. The father gets up. Oh my goodness! Shema Yisrael! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it! What is this phone here? Oh, it's not filtered, right? It's not filtered. I have to leave. He takes this guy's phone. He goes outside and he puts it in the mailbox. He says, "There's no way he's coming into my house." So after everything is done, the next day, his friend calls him up. He says, "I don't know what's that all about. Like, what was that? You went crazy. Are you there 90, 80, 100? What's the story with you?" He says, 100. He says, "So why were you bugging out like crazy?" He said, "Because I want my son growing up and knowing that if there's no filter on that, he cannot even come close to it. So therefore, I had to bug out because if he would see that I'm very lenient with it, it'll influence him and just take it no problem." Understand? Yerech Heshbon. I know a similar story that happened with me. I'll never forget. I was a teenager, maybe 19, 20. I'll never forget. I'm driving with a friend of mine, two my friends. They stop, and one of my friends pulled a sketch. Like, not really a friend, but he pulled a sketch. He went and he ordered, I didn't know this, and he ordered a non-kosher pizza, and he brought it into the car with all the religious friends. I stopped the car, and I have an eyewitness, by the way. I'll give you the person's number. It was the craziest thing. I stopped the car in the middle. I say, and the person knew, he pulled a sketcheroo, you know. He's like, "Oh, stop here. I have to pick up something very important." And he knows we're all religious guys, and he's a wise guy. So I have to pick up something very important. What are you picking up so important? He brings out a pizza from the non-kosher pizza store. I was like, "This is so important." I pull up my guy, "Get out of my, you're going to be in my car with non-kosher pizza? Throw that out right now." He ended up throwing it out. I made a whole thing of it. He couldn't believe, like, what just went on? And my friends, after we dropped this kid off, my friends after, like, "What were you bugging out about? What was the thing?" He says, "Because I don't want to feel that I'll ever come close to non-kosher food. So if I don't make a stink about it, that means I saw it and I didn't go crazy about it. It could affect me. I could be influenced by it. There's no way I'm taking a chance with non-kosher food. Out!" So I did. Out! The next day, if I would tell you what happened, my car was egged by this guy. I'm not joking. I was like, "Where is this guy?" But I didn't care. But I made my point strong with my friends. We're not hanging out with this guy ever again. He ate non-kosher. He brought non-kosher into the car. If I didn't make a stink of that right there and then, you know what would happen? I wouldn't feel it's such a problem. You know where this applies? In our generation, on Saturday, on Shabbat. You know where on Shabbat it applies? I'll tell you. When you see people, heaven forbid, in a billion years, and when you're walking around and you see one of the people that you know holding just a cell phone and just going like that, it automatically influences you. Oh, eventually you see it so many times, you say, "Oh, what's the big deal? He's having a cell phone, let me have a cell phone." But you don't understand, it's affecting you. Excuse me, no cell phones, you crazy? Get out, no way. Understand? It has to irk you. It has to bother you. You have to go wild on it. When you do that, the influence will automatically stop. I'll never forget, there was a guy in our shul, and I can tell you the name after he allows me. I don't know if I'll be on camera, but listen what happened. He gets married, and after he gets married, he's going out one night. He's going out with his, and all of a sudden he sees his wife wearing something that's not tzniut. So he tells his wife, "Please change. This is not modest. It's immodest." Says, "I'm sorry. I just bought this. This is brand new. I'm not." Oh, let me see it. It's brand new. Let me see it. He goes. He took a scissor. Okay. He cut the entire dress in half. You're not wearing this. And this lady, what? Till this day, he made such a she knew that her husband, of course, she's a lady that respects her husband, because if a lady doesn't respect her husband, she's not going to listen anyway. But he knew he was respecting her. And I went to him, I said, "Where did you get this from?" You know what he told me? He said, "What?" He told me, when I was a teenager, my sister was going out on a Saturday night, dressed improper. My father saw that. My father stood at the door. The first time, you know when you catch it when they're young, you know what I'm talking about? Like the first time, they don't just, people don't just rebel and do what they want, right? It's the beginning stage. If you catch it at that moment, you nailed it, right? You know what I'm talking about? You nail it at that moment. Like a person smoking, you see, let's say a person sees his a younger brother start smoking, you nail it that time. "Give me that cigarette." You make a whole thing. I ever see you smoke again, I'll throw your head first out of the window. I'm not saying to do that, but you know what I mean. You just go ballistic, where he got so much fear, where he's like, "Oh, I'm not doing that. No way." So what happened? This father was so smart. He sees the first time his young daughter, that's 100% a Jewish, modest girl, comes out a Saturday night, dressed improper. He stood by the door. "Dad, I gotta go." "Where you going?" "My friends are outside. I have to go, Dad." Where do you have to go?" "Oh, I'm going here, Okay. So, Dad, I have to go. Please, could you move? Can I go?" No, you can't go." So what do you mean that? I'm 16 years old. What do you mean I can't go? You know what I'm saying? Next year I have my license, I can even drive. What does that mean? No. It says you're not leaving this house until you change. Says, "No, Dad, we're going to this. Dad, I can't look I can't look, I can't da. You will not leave the house." And he went. He did the same thing. Took a scissor. And guess what? This lady is now about 45, close to 50. From that point on, she's dressed sniut, cover hair, everything. And he asks, he says, "Because my father didn't let me slip." When you see that first cigarette, or you see that first drug, or you see that first alcohol that's going to get you a little buzzed and gazed, and you make a stink out of it, so automatically, it doesn't give you that hashpa'ah. It doesn't give you that pull. "Oh my goodness, I saw that." That's why, sometimes you ever see in Mea Sha'arim. Now, I'm not going if it's right or wrong right now, but you ever see in the religious sections of Israel, that if you see a person driving, you see these little kids, they take rocks and they start chucking at the thing. "Shabbos! Boom! Shabbos!" And the guy is there getting started. Oh! He runs out of there. "Shabbos!" So you say, first of all, rocks are mukseh on Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? So he's taking the mukseh. So then what's going on over here? You know what the answer is? The answer is they don't want to ever get influenced by what they saw. So they make this whole ruckus. No way! And when they make this whole ruckus, guess what? Nobody's going to drive a car on Shabbat anymore. The fact that you saw that, but you also saw something going crazy at the point. You get it? You get what I'm saying? Again, right, wrong, that's not the point. The point is that they're going to get influenced. When you see a person holding his phone on Shabbat every single week, eventually you might get influenced. When you see a person eating non-kosher, you say, okay, so what's the big deal? Eventually you might get influenced. Because you're seeing it day in, day out, day in, day out. But if you make a stink out of it, no! Wow. You put your guard on. And that's exactly what Moshe Rabbeinu was worried about. Moshe Rabbeinu says, I see what you saw. We went through different countries. We saw different nations. And they were all doing Avodah Zarah. And now, even though 40 years later, we're finally out of the Midbar. But before the Midbar, we were influenced by all the Goyim, all the nations that were serving idols. And the fact that you saw that, so the day that he dies, he warns the people, don't do Avodah Zarah. Moshe, 40 years we're not doing no Avodah Zarah. 40 years, no Avodah Zarah. What are you telling us? Of course we're not going to do it. No. Since you saw it, even though you saw it many years ago, you might be influenced. The fact that it's engraved in your brain that you saw it, that's why I'm saying he makes such a powerful derush that he waited until the day he died to tell them, don't do that Avodah Zarah. Why? Because you saw you might get influenced. No more. And that's why you have to eradicate it. That's why if you ever see or something that you might get influenced, no way. No way. I'll never forget. I'm 19 years old. We took a bus with the boys. You know, all the boys. We took a bus to, forgot where it was. We went to like a whole hiking area. And I remember I stayed behind and I wanted to learn. I was on the bus learning. And a few boys were sitting back with me. They were also learning, and a few boys were learning. And I saw there was a few girls. The girls that were not sniut. They were playing games. Hi guys, like that by the bus. Hey guys, like that. Then they're coming onto the bus like sketch around. You know, hey, what's up? How you doing? I said, "Guy, get out!" I went so wild, and the boys on the bus like, chill, you guys chill. I said, you're not understanding. I'm chilled, but if you don't go wild right now, so guess what? You get influenced. Okay, how you doing? Let me get your number before you know who knows what. It's serious. You stop it right there. Get out. And I'm really never, you see me, I'm never like a tough person out. I'm very like soft and this, that. I don't go wild. But when it comes to sin, that you might get influenced, no, it's not happening. Get out. Shabbat shalom. Have a great week.